I'm Jonny Beauchamp. I play Alex Romano in The Way Out.
My name is Ashleigh Murray. I play Gracie.
Hi, my name is Nick Theurer. I play Brent, and I'm also one of the producers in the film.
Hi, I'm Barry J. I am the writer-director of the film The Way Out.
I would say this movie, The Way Out, it tackles our director Barry J's childhood in a very theatrical horror movie type of way.
The Way Out is a revenge thriller about a young, aspiring singer-songwriter who is an addict having trouble staying sober.
And Alex is when we meet Alex, he's struggling with his substance abuse and he's in recovery.
It involves our main character dealing with trauma of abuse in many forms.
And he takes in a roommate, a fighter, who teaches him how to stand up for himself, but it goes down a dark path.
Do you want me to show you? It's your life. You fight for what you want. Stop making excuses. Take control.
I actually found out about the project because through a friend. My friend Steven Tyler O'Connor was the casting director for it, and he and I went to college together, so he reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in reading the script. And I read it, and I had a few questions before I moved on in the process of being a part of the project, and I was able to discuss those things with Barry.
I was the last one cast, and it was pretty late in the game. I think it was actually a recast. The actor wasn't able to do it or something, and I got the email in my inbox like on a Monday morning around like 9, and I noticed that Ashleigh was attached to it, whom we obviously just worked together. And so I read it really fast, and I was like, I have to be a part of this. And I kind of got the feeling that like I wasn't necessarily on the page. Like the character was originally, I think, Alex Buckman. I immediately called Ashleigh's manager, who's now my manager, Kim Jago. And I was like, hey, like, what do you think about this project? What's going on? And she kind of gave me like the info about it. And she was like, are you interested in this? And I was like, I'm super interested in this. And I really want to play Alex. And she connected me with Steven, the casting, kind of sort of spoke to Steven and told him why I think I should do it. And he got Barry on the phone immediately. And so we all kind of had a Zoom. And I kind of pleaded my case to Barry why I thought I was like perfect for this part and why I had to do it. And Barry agreed. So I got lucky and I kind of just sort of talked my way into it.
I got involved because my friend and fellow producer, Carl Rumbaugh, is really good friends with Barry. And so they were talking about this project. Barry's been working on this for a while, and it was just the right moment where we were like, this needs to be talked about. This needs to be dealt with in the world today, because there is a lot of voices finally coming up for those that were abused. So when this was presented to Carl, he was like, I know somebody that's very passionate about doing projects that tackle issues. That's kind of my thing. I don't want to do a project that's just, for fun and shit and giggles.
So I had to sort of ready myself to write this. Like I knew it was coming one day, and I was just like, I mean, I'm sober 18 years now, but when I was Alex's age, I started working out, troubles with sobriety, intimacy issues, survivor of abuse, broken, damaged. And I really was completely shut down, shut off. Like I just didn't know how to respond to life, men, opportunities, whatever. And I had no self-esteem. So that whole thing about getting myself out there, and Alex as a songwriter, was also a big part of my story. So yeah, so it's very reflective, and of course the thing with the dad is also very reflective. So I didn't make any of that up. I just borrowed it from my survival mode.
I could really connect with Alex trying to reinvent himself and trying to kind of stay on like the right path. But the character is based on Barry and his life. It's pretty out there. And I know, like when we were talking on the first Zoom, we realized we had a lot of things in common. We were both born in the Bronx. We both moved to Rockland County when we were like younger. We both love dream girls. So we had like a lot of little things in common. So I kind of felt that I could kind of emulate him in that way and play Alex.
See, I went to a house that is a replica of the house I grew up in the area, the Hudson Valley, where I grew up. It was literally 40 minutes away from my house growing up. So that was kind of, I saw it online. I'm here in Henderson, Nevada. So the location manager was sending me pictures, and I sent him a picture of my old house so we knew what to look for. And in that area, you can find a lot of those houses, those two-story ranch houses. And he found it, much nicer than mine, but I thought I'd give myself a little facelift for the movie.
This is a meaningful project, so Carl and Barry chatted with me. We spent probably about a year going over ideas and how to make this the most impactful film we could. And you know, in that time, Barry approached me and was like, "I also think you'd be a good Brent." So I got thrown into the mix there, which I was very grateful for. It was fun to throw on the acting hat while also producing it.
The strangest thing for me that I will never forget is very matter-of-factly showing the DP and the actors the blocking of the trauma. Like, you know, I came here, he was here, I walked around, and it's just like, is this really happening? This is weird. This is really weird. And I was ready to do it, and on some level, I guess I assumed I knew that moment would come. But it was very, it was a hard pill to swallow when I was reliving it.
You know, my character, even though she has such a strong relationship with Alex, you know, was just kind of there in moments. And it was pretty easy for me to play a person who's really compassionate, who's really kind, who's really supportive. And it was also incredibly easy to do that because I was playing it with Jonny. And Jonny and I already have such a strong, natural, loving connection. So being at work really, at least for me, other than when I was trapped in the car, it was very easy and so much fun and so gentle. You know, it wasn't difficult for me to connect to this character and have this character connect with Alex as Jonny, or Jonny as Alex.
I still feel so guilty about that, Ash. Like, so for everyone who wasn't there, we it was like a 3-take movie. You know, we were moving really fast.
Yeah, we were moving really fast.
And there was a scene where, you know, I kind of like Gracie's in the car being like killed, and I break into the car and I pull her out, and Ash is like so in it and so in character. Like, she really just like trusted me and gave me like her like limp body. And it was so crazy, and I'm dragging her out of the car, and I accidentally, like, I didn't have a good grip on her whole upper.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Do you remember? And like your arm, I think, hit the concrete so
I banged my
hard.
elbow on the oh my god.
I felt so bad. And then of course we're still rolling, right? So she's just like,
oh. So we're both in it. We're in it.
I felt so bad.
There's a lot that I would say to take away from this, but the biggest one would be you're not alone.
You know, there's an entire life ahead of you. Whatever happened in your past does not define you. Through forgiveness, through recovery, through helping others, through self-esteem, through esteemable acts, you know, you can turn it around. I did.
What I want to say is I hope people have compassion for one another. You never really know what someone's going through, and the catalyst for like where they're there. So I hope that people will take a little bit of compassion for it. And also, you know, if you're struggling with sort of substance abuse, if you're in recovery, or you're someone who has been abused in that way, that's not a very easy thing to talk about, and it's not an easy thing to share for various reasons.
I mean, obviously the movie has elements that we don't support, like murder, but obviously the other elements that are a part of the story, the sexual abuse and sexual trauma, family dynamics and substance abuse, these are all things that are incredibly common in our world, honestly, and hopefully people are able to lean on someone. You know, Alex had Gracie, and you know, he had people around him that he could lean on, and a lot of people don't have that. So, you know, it's hard to kind of vocalize what someone should do in those moments. You know, if they're alone, it's hard to say, oh, you should go and find someone to talk to. That's not always a possibility. But maybe sometimes people actually do have someone, but they're too afraid to lean on them. They're too afraid to ask for help. And it's a common thing to say, you know, if you have someone that you feel like is struggling, you can reach out to them. And if a person is struggling, try not to be afraid to reach out for help.
So many people are afraid to raise their hand and say, that was me. That was, you know, that happened to me when I was younger. That's still happening to me now. Or I know somebody this is happening to. It just takes one person to say, I understand, or it's happening to me, or I know somebody it's happening to. And to feel seen like that, you'll realize so many people around you will stand up with you and actually talk about these things. And I think once you see this movie, it's not very often in Hollywood you see a movie where they go, we're going to tackle these really deep, dark issues. Most of the time it's thrown under the rug, or you see like a 30-second clip of it. We said, no, we're going to hit you in the face with as many facts about this as possible and make it as dark and gritty. So when you leave here, you go, this is becoming a popular topic. I'm not alone. And we want people to know you're not.
I'm still here to tell. I live to tell. And I'm glad I did. So if I have any message for anyone else out there, it's like, I promise you, sometimes the best action is do nothing. Because at some point you'll be out of that house, you'll be out of that city, whatever. You grow up, you're going to get older, you're going to find tools, you're going to find friends, and you'll be glad you stayed.
So I would hope that if, you know, trigger warning, if they were able to watch the film, if they felt maybe a little seen, or maybe that they're not alone, because the truth is that they're not alone. These kinds of topics are really, really common, but they're not destigmatized yet. Like, we can't really, we can, but people don't necessarily talk about them so openly for fear of judgment and whatever else. So I guess, yeah, I'll say that. I hope that people going through a lot of the same themes will feel like they're not alone.
The big book of Alcoholics Anonymous was originally going to be called The Way Out. And somewhere in the book, it says, you know, we managed to find the way out. So I just figured that kind of fit, you know, because Alex is trying to find the way out of where he is and who he is.
Someone's getting excited. Ready for more? I'm not you. Do you really believe that?